Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Singleton, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I come to you live Monday evenings at 7 p.m. I'm in Arizona, Peoria, Arizona, and I hope you had a great weekend and a great day today. We had a wonderful weekend. We got to see all of our grandchildren and our daughter and her husband, which he's our son, but so we invited them to come over this weekend yesterday, and we talked about going to Disneyland in February. So my granddaughter dances every other year in Disneyland, and so we're going to go with them. And usually it's just my daughter and granddaughter, and then I usually tag along. But since my husband will be retired, he's like, "Well, I'm going to come along and tag along and go." So we're like, okay. So then my daughter decided this year she was taking the entire family to Disneyland for a family vacation. Oh my goodness, that's quite the feat to take two daughters and an 11-year-old. Oh my, that's quite the challenge. So, but it should be fun. And so we're going to go do that. And so it should be fun. It'll be challenging, but it should be fun. So we talked a little bit about that and got some things kind of tied up and discussed. We had a nice day with them, all afternoon with them. So it was a lot of fun. It was very enjoyable. Yes, thank you. So let's hope this works because it's already been glitching. And so I don't know what is going on. I don't know why it's glitching. So let's hope this screen stays. And then my husband, my wonderful husband, figured out how to switch the camera. So the camera stayed, but there is a setting in this program I have that you can mirror what I'm doing so it's not upside down. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's not upside down. So it looks the same that I'm looking at. Okay. So I'm like, all right. So let's get started. I did not cut everything out, so I wanted to show how to do this card and put it together. So I'm hoping this will work right. So we're going to make another gift card. And we're going to do a Christmas gift card. So I pulled out another one of my favorite Christmas papers. I just love this paper. I made some other cards with it, kind of like when I did with the Thanksgiving paper. I loved it. This Christmas paper is, I think, one of my favorite papers. This snowflake paper. And so this is the card we're going to do. So I used several different stamp sets and die sets, but it's super easy. So I used the Elegant Pine Snowflakes collection, and I used the Traditions of Christmas, but I just used bits and pieces of both collections. So this is super simple. This is another one of these that's super fun but simple. And you can probably pick a different paper out of here to flip this over. You probably can't tell on this piece, but when I pull it out. So this is the other side of this paper. It's kind of a greenish color, but it doesn't match this pretty peacock. It's more of a, it's more of a green. People have been doing it. People have been flipping it over and using it on pretty peacock. I don't like it on pretty peacock, so I'm not going to switch it over and use that one. So I just made my designer series paper all the same color because you can use different ones, and there is beautiful papers in this paper pack, but I just did it all the same. All right, so very easy to make. So I'm gonna pull out the pretty peacock. And you can make one card out of a piece. So at first I didn't figure it out, but you're going to cut one sheet and you're going to first start at 4 1/4. So you're going to cut it 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to do 4 1/4. And set the other piece aside because you're going to use that again. And then we're going to pull out, our trimmers have an arm to them so that you have, it'll go all the way to 17, but we're not going to go that far. We're going to take our 4 1/4 by 11 sheet and we're going to cut it down to 9. So it'll be 4 1/4 by 9. So we're going to go to 9. I do not know why it's glitching. It's really bothering me. I think it's my Wi-Fi that's making it do that. All right, so now that we have 4 1/4 by 9, we're going to score this piece. And this piece is going to get scored at 6 3. So I'm going to first score it at, I'm done with this arm, so I like it to come back in. And then this, when the piece of paper butts up against there, this is the 6. Then I know it's at 6. So that's my 6. And this, on the trimmer, the dark color is the cutter, but the light gray is the scorer. So I want to score at 6. And then I want to bring it to the 3. And I'm going to score at 3. 6 and 3, yes. This is going to make our little Z on the card. Okay. Now our card base tonight is only going to be one sheet. Usually we fold it over and that makes the card base. But this time our card base is going to be the same size, but it's just going to be one sheet of paper. So it's going to be the same size as our normal sheet is, our normal card, but it's just going to be one piece of paper. We're going to do everything on top of that. So we're still going to have it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's why I cut this at 4 1/4. Now we're going to turn it and we're going to flip it and cut it at 5 1/2. That's exactly what our card base typically starts at. So I'll cut it at 5 1/2. Now we have our card base. We just don't have an opening and closing. This is other piece that we cut and scored. That's going to make our Z piece. Okay. Now we need to cut some other pieces. So we have the Z piece. I already cut the white piece because I was cutting the white pieces. So the white piece, that's going to go inside. That is 4 by 2 3/4. But we need an all these pieces in here that I knew I was going to use. So we need and I already cut, when you cut a piece for your envelope, you cut at 2 1/4 by 6. Because the DSP is 12 by 12, when you cut your piece this way at 2 1/4, and then you flip it and you cut it at 6, it automatically cuts you 2 of these. So I already cut one. I cut 2, sorry. All right, so I need a DSP piece. I already cut one of these too, to go on the back of our card base. So this piece that's going to go on the back of the card base is 4 by 5 1/4. And I think that's this one. 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. think that's this one too. I was trying to maximize when I was cutting my DSP. So I cut out a couple of pieces. I cutting it at 4 and 5 1/4. So I cut out some extra pieces. All right, now I need a piece that's going to go on the other side, on the left side outside. So that piece of the DSP is going to be 2 7/8. No. Yeah, that's going to be on the inside, but I need a side that's going to be 4 by 2 3/4. And I think this is 4. I don't know what I'm going to make it 4, but I'm actually going to do it 2 3/4. Again, I'm going to try and maximize. Hopefully this will work. All right, 2 3/4 by 4. And I just have to cut off a little bit of that piece. All right, so that again is going to go on the outside. And then for the inside middle, to make this little notch piece right here, that is going to be 2 7/8. So again, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go 2 7/8. And that's going to go all the way right here. Oh, good. And that is by 2 1/2. All right. I think that's all the cutting that we're going to do. So, that's extra. All right, so let's start putting some of this together, but we're going to cut out some other pieces, but let's put some of this together. All right, so I have too many of these pieces. I don't need this many card bases. Yeah, I don't need 5 bazillion card bases. All right, let's fold this. So I did the creases, and so it's going to open this way, so that's how I'm going to fold it. And it didn't really, and just kind of make sure it's going to fold up the way that I want it to. And then I'm going to use my bone folder after I get it all situated. So it looks like I have a little bit, I didn't quite score it quite right. Must have not had it on my score. All right, come on. All right. There we go. And we want that to lay flat as we can. Flip that over. Yeah, I didn't have that quite on there, I guess. So I want to open it that way, so when we put that on there, you won't notice that, so that will be okay. All right, so let's glue our back piece on, the DSP to the back piece. This has so many colors in it. I could have chosen a green, or it has this really pretty blue in it, or any one of the greens. Or I could have even done, I've actually used this pretty peacock along with cherry cobbler. This makes it beautiful too. Okay, now it's gonna open this way. So this piece I can glue on, which is this one, because I'm gonna do all the other stuff on the top. It's gonna be with dimensionals. Okay. All right. Let's get our envelope. This is our silicone mat. When you put glue on it by accident, it'll come right off and then it won't stick to your surface. And since I seem to be getting glue all over everything these days, I'm using that. Yeah, it's inside, so you can't. It's very light. Like this is the blue. But when you have this with you, you'll be able to see the blue. But if you can't, I know you probably can't on screen. But this background has blue in it. That's the and it's so light. It's the pool party is what it's called. And pool party is so light anyways, but you could put pool party with it and it would probably pull it out even more. But and then it's got, of course, all different color greens in it. And I took two of the greens. I did Mossy Meadow and I did cut leaves out of these. And I'm gonna cut leaves out. Yes, and then he decided when he got them, he said, you only have 10 here. I said, that's how many you told me. He goes, well, I need 11. Could you make me one more for tomorrow? I said, well, yes, but you told me 10. He goes, I did. I'm like, well, that's how many, how would I know how many to make? And if you didn't, oh, well, I mean, I need 11. I said, okay, so tonight I had to make one more for him. Oh my goodness. Like, yeah, I just pulled the number out of my head. I don't know how many people you have. My goodness gracious. Yeah, I have to make one more when I get done. It's like, there's only 10 here. Yeah, that's how many you told me you needed. Oh my gosh. Silly boy. Okay, so I stamped this. This is from the Delicate Pines. And this is one of the, actually, I didn't want one of the, it comes like 3 different sizes of snowflakes, but I wanted this snowflake right here, and that's what this one is. And it fits on here perfectly. So I'm going to stamp that. That's actually our white piece. That's going to go inside. Okay. Right now we're going to do some die cutting because I don't want to put too much on here. because I have to attach this and I don't want to attach it with too much on there. All right. So we're going to die cut from the Christmas greenery dies. And I'm going to use my small. Yes, I know. By working with them on Saturday, I was way ahead of the game. And I just finished them. Most of them Saturday, and then I did a few of them Sunday before the kids came over, and I was all done. So yeah, sitting there working with you guys really was amazing. So I was like, yeah. I was really glad. It was fun. All right, so here's one of the leaves. And so I'm thinking, I just haven't sent out a little text either. So for Thanksgiving, I was thinking everybody would come over at 3:30 and we'll finish getting everything all ready. But if I tell everybody 3:30, then that way we'll come over and get stuff done and hopefully eat by 4. But I'll send out a text. Have everyone come over at 3:30. So I don't know what time you want to come over. I can call you later. All right, so the nice thing about this little one, just I can work on it on my desk, but I usually, the good thing about the big one is I can put both of these in the big one, and then I don't have to do them individually. So there's good things and bad things about the little one. So this is little enough that I can actually just work this right now at my desk. And it doesn't wiggle it too much. But I like the fact that the big one, I can put 2 or 3 of these on the big embossing and run them through and I'm done. So I'll go in the other room and I have a table set up in there and I'll work that. All right, so we have this little poker tool. It's because this sometimes gets stuck in here. I'm just poking this through because they get stuck in here. And it helps you lift this up and gets this off of here, like so. All right. Also, from the traditional labels dies, I did these 2. This in white and this in cherry cobbler. So let's run the cherry cobbler. These are fun label dies. This die is really fun. So let me poke that through. So this die, it kind of pops up a little bit, but it's attached, but it kind of pops up. So it's a lot of fun. All right, and then this one is going to sit on top of that. So I did this one in white. Where is my little scrap of white? All right, here we go. I keep scraps of all the colors because just like for this. And I just have scraps of colors, and then I go in my scrap bin and pull out a scrap, and then I don't have to use a whole sheet of color. All right, now, and then this has little lines around it. So it's, you know, you can't see in the camera. No, you can't really. But, so, all right. Yep, that's all my die cutting. And then it folds up. All right. Now I want to attach this before I finish putting everything on it because it'll be too hard to maneuver. So you could use glue. I think our glue would be fine. Our Tombow glue that I've been using should work. We also have a stamp and seal. I am not good with that stuff. It gets everywhere. I can't ever work it good enough. We have demonstrators that are really good with that, and that's all they use, and they won't use Tombow glue. But I think Tombow glue would work, and it would stick on here and stay. But because you're going to be opening it, I would feel much more comfortable with using tear and tape, because then it's going to stay on there. Tear and tape doesn't move. So I'm going to put tear and tape on here. I'm going to just stick some tear and tape on here, and then I know that it's going to stick in place and it's not going to go anywhere. So like I said, I think glue would glue it in place, and it's not, our glue also doesn't go anywhere, but I just would feel better with some tear and tape on here. And it's a little bit heavier than, you know, it's going to have a lot of stuff on it, and you're going to be opening and closing it, and it's going to hold a gift card. So I just think just having some tear and tape on there would just be so much better. So again, I'm going to use our this is called, the poker tool is called Take Your Pick. Poker tool, whichever one you want to call it, but it's called your Take Your Pick. Helps get that coat off of there. Once you stick this, though, it does not come up. So make sure you are going to, where you're going to put it. So this just moves all over the place on here. All right, so we're going to get this straight. And then I kind of eyeball it and up and down and on the sides about where it looks like it's going to be. And then okay, it's there. Once you set it down, it's there. But that's how it's gonna go. It's gonna go. Doop. Okay, so this little piece, that's gonna go right here. Yep, that's how it goes. Okay. Making sure, but boy, that's really tight. But that way is not the right way. So yeah, that's the way. That. I'm gonna shave just a smidgen off of there. Not much. What was it? 3 7/8. I'm good. Yeah, that's right. Didn't even really shave anything off. All right. All right. So now that it's going to go this way, it's going to go like right there. So I know this direction. Then take any hole punch or die if you have a die circle, and that will make your little notch that you need. And punch that out everywhere. And again, we're going to use tear and tape. And we're going to put the tear and tape here, here, and here. And, you know, I'm going to cut that teensy little sliver off of there. I think I'm actually cutting too much, but it just doesn't want to fit on there. Let's see if my card will fit in there. Yeah. All right, hopefully it'll work. Okay. All right, so we're going to put the tear and tape, and we're going to put the tear and tape as close to the edge as we can. And we're going to leave that little piece up there. All right. And then we're going to put, well, it's not going down there any further. It got stuck. Okay. I think that'll hold it. I think that'll be fine. All right. Again, we're going to use my little poker tool. Pick that up. Okay. All right. And I didn't lay this down. This is my guide. You know what? I'm going to put this white piece down first because this will be my guide where I want to put this. Did not get this as thin as I want. All right. Trying to line it up with the other piece. That's about right. Okay. So all these three pieces are going to try and line up about right. And then if you put this in, and you can see if it's going to fit in there. And there you go. And it does. Okay. Kind of close that. Okay. All right. So now the front pieces. We're going to stamp Merry Christmas. And the Merry Christmas came from, I had, where did it come from? Oh my goodness. Like I said, I had a bunch of stamp sets and I'm not sure now where this came from. Ah, it actually came from Jolly Holly stamp set. Uh-huh. And I pieced it together. Merry Christmas. And I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock. I think I used like most of our stamp sets. Christmas stamp sets. All right. Oh, I'm going to glue this to this, and then I'm going to use dimensionals. All right. Kind of center that in there. I liked how they did the set. Several of the cutouts fit together like that, and I really like that. All right, so my dimensionals, put these on. And you can put it down here or up here. I liked it centered, but you can put it up, above, below, whatever. But I liked it kind of in the middle. Oh, and I did glue. So what I did was I kind of played with and decided kind of where I wanted these. And I have to cut this because it's obviously way too long. So I just kind of was playing with it, and I just kind of, I'm going to have to cut it about right there. So I just kind of went in here and just kind of cut it off. And then I did glue these, that's right. So I didn't stamp a dimensional everything. It's a lot of practice. A lot of practice eyeballing. I don't always do good. Sometimes I get it all off and it's all wonky. So, it just, some days are better than others. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh my goodness. Sometimes it's crooked, but it's handmade. So you know what? It's all, when you give it, Sarah does say, it's handmade, you're giving it away. And if they don't like it, well, too bad. The handmade card. So I'm like, you're right. And then I just did that. Okay. So I try to remember that one when it's like not perfect because it just drives me crazy. Then I was trying to decide what gems I wanted. And I'm like, I really don't want to use. At first I wanted Pretty Peacock, and I'm like, that's just too much Pretty Peacock. So then I thought I had these still sitting on my table here. I put most everything away from Saturday, but my goodness, that's a lot to put away. So then I saw these. I'm like, oh, these sparkly ones. I'm like, oh, the red ones will be perfect. So I picked out the red ones to go with the red. And it is actually perfect on here. It pops. It really does make it pop. And I really liked the red ones on here. So I liked it. I thought the red was perfect. So it's really, I was like, yep. Enough sparkle, but not too much because, sometimes I don't know that guys really like bling, but You have to have some bling. You're right. Imperfection makes it more personal. Absolutely. All right. And then my envelope. All right. Okay, so here's our card. Oh, oops, that got all bent. There's envelope. But then they still have a little bit of room to write. Not everybody likes to write a whole bunch, so I did do a little stamping on there. And then, yeah, but I thought that turned out really nice. I really liked that. This lady did a card using this part here, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this part and make it a gift card holder. Like this will be, because I wanted a little something on the front like I did with the Thanksgiving ones. So I'm like, oh, but I'm going to use my favorite paper. So I just I had in my head what I wanted to do. I was just trying to find the design. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, so I think that turned out pretty good. All right, so next Monday, I will not be live because I will be in Vegas because we leave Sunday to go to Vegas to go see Wizard of Oz. I'm so excited. So we'll be there Sunday, Monday, and we come back Tuesday. So I will not be live on Monday because I will be in Vegas. So I'm very, very excited. So super excited. So I cannot believe that Thanksgiving is a week from this Thursday, but oh my goodness, it is. So anyways, but if you need something in the meantime, feel free to, get a hold of me, contact me, let me know. And I'm really glad, even though it keeps like acting like it's glitching, this worked really good. So I'm really glad. And I'm glad that Milt figured out how to show that this is not upside down. So I guess it looks like he showed it so that it mirrors. So that's good. So, all right. Anyways, you have a great evening and I will talk to everyone later. Thank you so much. Have a great night.